Saint Anthony is one of the most beloved Catholic saints today, and he was much loved even in his own time. He was born Fernando Martins de Bulhos in August 1195 in Lisbon, Portugal. His parents, wealthy members of the nobility, intended for him a career in the church, although they did not have in mind the kind of career he chose. Perhaps we would never have heard of Anthony, if he had not gone to an ordination of Dominicans and Franciscans in 1222. As they gathered for a meal afterward, the provincial suggested that one of the friars give a short sermon. Quite typically, everybody declined. So Anthony was asked to give just something simple, since he presumably had no education. He began to speak in a simple, artless way. The fire within him became evident. His knowledge was unmistakable. But his holiness was what really impressed everyone there. Now he was exposed. His quiet life of prayer and penance at the hermitage was exchanged for that of a public preacher. Despite his efforts, not everyone listened. Legend has it that one day, faced with deaf ears, Anthony went to the river and preached to the fishes. That got everyone's attention. Back in Padua, he preached his last and most famous Lenten sermons. The crowds were so great, sometimes 30,000. The churches could not hold them, so he went into the piazzas or the open fields. People waited all night to hear him. He needed a bodyguard to protect him from the people armed with scissors who wanted to snip off a piece of his habit as a relic. After his morning mass and sermon, he would hear confessions. This sometimes lasted all day, as did his fasting. The great energy he expanded during Lent in 1231 left him exhausted. Seeing death coming close, he wanted to return to the city that he loved. At Archela, he received the last sacraments. Anthony sang and prayed with the friars there. When one of them asked Anthony what he was staring at so intently, he answered, "I see my Lord." He died in peace a short time after that. He was only 36. The following year, his friend, Pope Gregory IV, moved by the many miracles that occurred at Anthony's tomb, declared him a saint. Anthony was a simple and humble friar who preached the good news lovingly, and with fearless courage. The youth whom his fellow friars thought was uneducated, became one of the great preachers and theologians of his day. He was a man of great penance and apostolic zeal. But he was primarily a saint of the people. He is petitioned for help in finding almost everything that is lost, from car keys and misplaced papers to a lost job. People who are regarded as lost souls may also be placed in his care. These widespread invocations to Saint Anthony, for finding lost things and restoring missing people, relate to an incident in which the saint was invoked to find a missing book. And the prayer was efficacious. Ever since then, Saint Anthony has been the patron of lost things. His feast day is June 13th. Well, my friends, until next time, the peace of our Lord be with you always.